It came into Montreal like a thunderbolt.
You know, it's beyond what I think anyone could even imagine.
Prepárense a escuchar algo sin igual.
It's an explosion that happened not only like just in New York or here, it happened worldwide.
Hip hop was that new sound. It really was a new sound with that downbeat, that good stuff.
C'est une culture, c'est un vibe, c'est un flow. Ça vient d'ici.
It's telling you the truth about reality, but it's doing it in a stylish way.
And it's mostly about expressing yourself.
C'est issu de la rue, c'est issu d'un monde à part, dans le fond, tous des gens qui veulent sortir du chemin typique, dans le fond.
Ma mère est morte en 24 heures. Une fois que ma mère est décédée, j'avais du louche. J'avais plus nécessairement quelqu'un qui me disait « tu peux faire ça, tu peux pas faire ça ». Donc j'ai vu et j'ai expérimenté beaucoup d'affaires, que ce soit avec des soi-disant thugs, gangsters, des gangs de rue, vente de drogue, des affaires comme ça. J'en ai vu beaucoup, mais tout en gardant l'éducation que ma mère m'a donnée, puis les principes que j'avais, ça m'a fait réaliser que c'était pas nécessairement les choses que je recherchais ou les idéaux que j'avais.
Je suis artiste peintre, graffeur, penseur. Bienvenue chez moi.
C'est à travers la communauté hip-hop, la scène hip-hop, que j'ai trouvé qu'il y avait un espace pour que je puisse pratiquer ce que je faisais, pour que je puisse créer. Puis je m'en suis servi comme tremplin, comme école.
Growing up without a father, for me, I had to find different ways, different people. I had to take bits and pieces from different people. I always wanted a little brother and sister, and I knew once I got the chance, I wasn't gonna waste it. So I'm making sure that they're doing the right things and they have someone positive to look up to.
Il n'y a pas de barrière entre un noir peut faire plus qu'un blanc ou un asiatique peut faire plus qu'un noir. C'est ça la beauté de la chose là-dedans, c'est que vraiment la communauté se tient.
Le hip-hop, c'est un tremplin pour n'importe qui sait bien l'utiliser. C'est la communauté alternative qui connecte des gens à travers le monde.
Hip-hop has allowed almost every culture in every part of the world to understand one thing. It might have started in Black America, but it's now a youth thing. It's no longer ours. It's the most incredible thing.
It's not about your color. That's the thing about hip hop. It's like, it was invented by black people, but like if you're dope, if you're good in the cypher, it doesn't matter. You know, if you're a dope breaker, graffiti artist, whatever, you're dope.
I can identify to for example, saying I'm Latin American or I'm Montrealer or a Quebecer, or like I can identify with that, but I've always felt that it's bigger than that, and like even since I was little, like my identity has always felt like bigger than just one thing, one label.
J'étais né à Moscou, j'ai déménagé en Israël. Et en 94, j'ai déménagé à Montréal.
I didn't suffer what my parents suffered where they're from. I more so suffered what my parents suffered while they were here. You know what I mean? So my mother was she was from, you know, another country, and she comes down here and she has to go through a certain struggle. And I would feel that struggle, but I didn't feel the struggle that she went through while she was in her country.
My mother's Haitian, my dad is Irish American. And it's like, I would trip out on how, you know, when I go to like a white school or suburban school, like the kids would act different or be like always asking questions or whatever. And then at the black school in the hood, the rowdy hood, you know, it was like the kids were talking to themselves and didn't want to even like, they weren't trying to like talk with the teacher too much. So it was like on the playground, there was all this different styles, and I would trip out about it because I was like in the middle, like, where do I fit in this? Like, the white people are acting like this, black people are acting like this. Like, I don't fit in anywhere.
As a child of immigrant parents, I thought, I realized at some point that not everything related to me in this culture, and there's some things that are new. That ended up being a venue where, I'm creating my own culture. I'm creating something that's for me, for my generation, and for my unique experience, maybe as, someone who's not from here. I don't have a lineage of generations going back. I don't have roots here, but I'm creating my own.
I always loved being like Russian and being from NDG and being from Israel and being always with Latino people. So I love that. I love that I can be that person, you know what I mean? That can connect with all these different people.
In New York City in like the late 70s, we were coming out of another sort of apartheid moment when people of different races and backgrounds were really separated culturally. And there was a hot flash in the early 80s when people of different backgrounds came together and learned from each other's cultures, and it really sparked a lot of energy, which I think had a lot to do with where hip-hop went at that time.
It was like, 15 years old, 15-year-old kid, live in New York City. This movement is happening. I'm a high school student, I take the train, I go to school, I see it. I'm just like, oh, it's part of my life. It's all over the walls. It's like, it's beginning to infest the society in that kind of way, and it's getting out of control. Well, at the beginning, so I just was compelled to want to participate. It's illegal, it's dangerous, it's all the elements that a kid wants. You're not robbing people, you don't have a gun, so it's like elements of how much of a little badass do you want to be, you know what I mean? So this was cool enough, and I dug the expressional part of it, if you will, because I wanted to express myself too. I wanted to be recognized at that point.
The first MCs in the Bronx, he's doing one of the most important elements of hip-hop. But it didn't start as MCing, it started as toasting. Toasting originates from Jamaica. And the people that originated it was Cool Herc and Cowboy and just all those other artists in the Bronx.
All of a sudden, one day, you're going along, you're doing your thing, and you see this thing where there's guys spitting on their hands, spitting on their heads.
60, 69, like we landed on the moon. It was like, I was like 10th grade, you know what I mean? So it was like a very profound time in my life when a lot of other things were happening too in America. We had like a lot of problems, like civil rights movement, and it's just a lot of, we were at war, so there was a lot of shit going on. And New York City was very poor at the time and couldn't fight graffiti. So why it got so much exposure during the early 70s with the city was broken, like they were just allowing kids to run free, and like, so they couldn't control it, and the snowball effect of what it was created this international phenomenon.
These were the classic flyers that let you know what was going on in the hip-hop world back then, at its core, at its beginning.
C'était pas toujours dans un studio, on n'avait pas toujours un studio pour s'entraîner. Donc on était dans les rues, dans les coins de rue, on prenait des morceaux de carton, puis on dansait dessus. Mais ça c'est parce que c'est pour l'amour, la danse.
Je leur dis à mes élèves, je leur dis dans les cours, quand ça a commencé dans le Bronx, ils disaient pas « Hey, je vais te montrer comment danser, 5, 6, 7, 8 ». Non, ça venait d'ici, puis ils faisaient juste danser. Donc c'est ça que je leur dis. Moi, quand je leur montre des pas, je vais jamais leur dire « Ton bras est pas correct, ton doigt est pas à gauche ou à droite ». J'aime voir les jeunes essayer, se donner, puis pas nécessairement avoir des consignes à suivre, puis pouvoir passer par-dessus tout ce qu'on leur dit, puis pousser les limites dans le fond.
Il a voulu dire, les gens essaient de nous canaliser, le mouvement hip-hop, c'est quelque chose qui ne peut pas vraiment être contrôlé et canalisé parce que les gens s'expriment et disent ce qu'ils ont à dire, et puis le fait que ce qu'on m'a dit, que ça sort du contexte de la boîte, bah, ça dérange.
The way we're portrayed, just like the time we got stopped a few weeks ago by the cops and they took their guns out and everything, because people are scared of guys dressed baggy doing certain movements on the street because they right away associate us with guns and us with doing bad things and us doing, and that's what's wrong. That's where the media and the hip hop kind of intertwine and become real life, where cops are taking out their gun on me, and that's scary.
We can't even walk up and down the street without being looked at a certain way.
At the age of 8, I remember a man pulled my mom in the office and said, "Your son needs Ritalin. Your son is too active. He needs to do this." And I see many of my friends are on Ritalin. So
from that, society does not want you to express your true emotions, your true feelings, and to be who you are. So when we tie that in hip-hop now, like hip-hop allows you to do all those things.
Like in the early 90s, Public Enemy were like the main thing, and people started realizing that, wow, they're saying something, people are listening, so we can't have this, or else people are gonna realize that we're trying to trap everyone and, you know, have them stuck in a system where they can't get out of.
Et ce que la télé montre, on le sait tous que c'est pas du hip-hop, c'est un produit. Puis le hip-hop, ça se vend pas. Le hip-hop, c'est une culture. Le hip-hop, c'est toi, moi, c'est nous tous ensemble. Alors, c'est déjà un problème que nous, on dise que c'est la faute du hip-hop. Quand ce qu'ils montrent à la télé, c'est pas du hip-hop. Puis c'est un problème quand les parents, quand les gens, ils savent plus quoi nommer, alors ils appellent ça du hip-hop.
Je me suis fait traiter souvent de baleine, puis de sauver les baleines, on me l'a dit. Puis les gens sont méchants, excusez. Mais ça a été dur de le prendre, de savoir que les gens te regardent, dans le fond, ils font juste rire de toi, puis tu danses, puis surtout danser en jazz avec des unitaires sur la scène. Oh, c'était pénible. Mais j'aimais danser. Mais c'est ça que moi j'aime du hip-hop, c'est que peu importe de quelle grandeur, de quelle taille tu es, t'as toujours la place pour le faire. Puis en voyant que les gens, comme quand tu dansais, ils te regardaient pas en disant comme « Ah, t'es pas bonne ». Ils disaient « Ok, essaie ça comme ça, tu vas voir, ça va marcher », puis t'encourageaient. Ça avait tout changé.
Dancers at that time had to be very thin, which was like, that used to annoy me because you had to be like a pencil with strings running around on your fingertips. That annoyed me. And hip hop, if you're not physically strong, you can't perform as well as someone that is, I would say, smaller. You've got to be powerful. You've got to have legs. You've got to have arms. And that's what I love about hip hop. It made women like myself, or girls like myself that weren't maybe rake thin, feel like our bodies worked in this form of dance. That's what was really exciting. That's what really made me go, wow, this is cool. The down thing is maybe some of the language and the image of what hip hop has done to women, and especially young women. That's the down thing.
Qu'est-ce qui est négatif vraiment, c'est qu'il expose les filles à faire des affaires normalement qu'ils n'aimeraient pas faire.
Some of it has gotten so sexual that if you have a younger brother or sister and they're seeing this, or just a young person, again, they're using these images as this is the way I should be.
I don't mind like people like that are wearing like appropriate clothes.
Yeah, like in some videos they have the half-naked girls. That's kind of discriminating to women. But in some other videos they have the ones where like they still have clothes on and they still look nice.
Il y a des jeunes dans mes cours qui se présentent habillés, pas nécessairement en top de bikini, mais qui se présentent des fois pas habillés convenablement pour danser dans un cours de danse. Puis quand finalement tu leur parles à la fin puis tu essaies de savoir, genre, essaie d'arriver avec des joggings ou des pantalons, ben qu'eux autres ils ont dans leur tête, c'est vraiment l'image des femmes à la télé qui sont censées porter ça, agir comme ça et danser comme ça.
C'est pas parce qu'il y a une image de la femme comme qui est montrée en bikini, une image de la femme qui est comme un peu pornographiée, que on va coller. C'est vrai qu'on colle une certaine image à la femme, mais si en tant que femme tu te respectes toi-même et que tu veux montrer que l'image qu'on montre de toi est différente, c'est comme tu vas faire en sorte que les gens aient une différente image de toi, tu comprends?
Je parle plus pour les jeunes. Moi, je sais qu'est-ce que je fais du hip-hop, mais je me promène pas genre en top de bikini, mais je parle pour les prochaines générations.
We gotta get real, you know what I'm saying? In real life, there's women, there's money, there's cars, you know what I'm saying?
Les images qu'ils véhiculent, c'est toujours les mêmes. Ça parle de sexe, d'argent, de drogue, de violence. S'il n'y a pas ces choses-là dans une vidéo, d'habitude, ça joue pas. Tandis qu'il y a d'autres choses à voir, il y a d'autres alternatives. Les bons vidéos qui sont en circulation d'habitude, qui n'ont pas ces choses-là, c'est un vidéo parmi une centaine. Faut dire qu'il y a des artistes comme KRS-One, Talib Kweli ou bien Mos Def qui ont du contenu et des fois qui ont des vidéos avec de la substance, mais ça joue pas parce que ça vend pas.
Are you doing it for the love of it or are you doing it to make money? I'm in it for the money. I'm hip hop. I don't need rap music to tell me I'm hip hop. I'm hip hop because I wake up hip hop. Everything I do is just, with my hip hop swag. Like, but the music, I'm do it. If I want to do it, I'll do it for the money. And it all goes back down to basics, supplies and demand. So if the industry is giving me a front of $1 million or $50,000, which is more than I ever seen in my life, for me to say 10 records, 10 bling bling records. Please buy it. Support me.
I don't know how you could say that hip-hop's all about making money.
C'est sûr que maintenant le hip-hop, ça a été commercial, c'est sûr avec le bling bling, tout ça aussi. Mais c'est comme, on pense que tout le monde, c'est comme, soit obligé de stresser comme, avec d'avoir des chaînes, avoir des montres, avoir tout ça. Puis le problème, moi je dis, c'est que même si, admettons, ok, tu fais un album positif, entièrement positif quand même, puis c'est pas relié au bling bling, ça peut quand même se vendre quand même.
This is a rap. Hits it in the back. I backstab him, but you turn it back. As an artist, I get inspired by very original people rather than people that just do anything. And to me, as an artist, when I'm going to be coming out with my product, it's all about who's listening to your music. I want people to listen to my music because they know why they're listening to it, not because it's just the thing that's happening or because it's what everybody else is listening in your class or out of your friends. I want real fans.
Dans les années 98-99, il y avait un groupe qui s'appelait Domatique. C'est comme c'était le premier groupe francophone qui a vendu 125 000 exemplaires à Montréal quand même. Puis ça prouve l'impact comment ils ont fait. Ils ont parlé de positivité politique. Puis la société actuelle, comme quoi les femmes se restent comme des Barbies quand même. Puis avec ça, ils ont vendu 125 000 exemplaires.
Le positif, vraiment, c'est que des fois, les chansons, ils disent des affaires qui sont vraies.
I do not just use my music to talk about cars and money and women. I talk about what's going on. I speak the truth all the time. And I speak about what's going on in my life, about what's going on in the lives of my friends, about what's going on in the lives of the people in my city, the lives of people in my neighborhood, the lives of black people, the lives of white people, the lives of society. I mean, I don't speak about nonsense. I mean, a lot of people use their shot. When they're big, they speak about nonsense, speak about cars and jewelry and stuff, and there's so much real stuff going on, and they think they're real. Like, what's so real about that, man? Like, there's a lot of real stuff going on, a lot of people not doing so good. Somebody has to talk about that.
And in the city, it's too hard to make it if you don't have someone solid to look up to. There's too much drugs, there's too much violence, there's too much distractions, period, that could set them away from the right path. I talk about life situations like not having a lift to go somewhere, just having no money, trying to take care of the kids, trying to give them something positive to listen to that they could dance to or feel without giving them a wrong message.
You go through life, you go like through situations and shit, like you might not feel comfortable talking to people about it, and you may feel comfortable like talking about it on track or expressing yourself on a beat. And that's what hip-hop is really about right now.
Most of the kids in the schools I've worked at are Montreal suburban white kids that are listening to music, that are buying this music, that some of them might have black friends, but I can tell you 90% of them don't have ethnic friends. And I think for them to understand this music, they have to understand that if you do have a black friend or an ethnic friend, I usually tell them straight up, I say, you see that girl next to you? She's your friend. And they go, yeah. I said, call her the N-word. Call your friend a nigger right now. And right there, they get it. They get it. They get it because that word in today's music has become okay. And I can tell you, as a human being, that is not an okay word ever on any point.
Thugs get respect, you know? So most kids might not be respected or might not get the respect they want or deserve. So they might feel like if I portray myself to be like that dude, I see that gangster nigga I see on TV, excuse my language, but if I portray myself to be like him, I might get a little more respect. If I go down and do something stupid or go shoot somebody or rob somebody, I might get a little more respect from the street. And that's how most take it. But that's not the concept we're really giving to them. I'm saying most of us just expressing ourselves in the music and trying to have fun.
The planet needs positivity. Every word that we say is very important because like that creates a vibe, that creates an action and a reaction. Every word you put in a rap song, every like image you put in a video creates images that kids learn and then they will imitate those things. Really, they will. I mean, it has been proven scientifically it's like that. So we need to take care of our families, man. We're people. This is not about like This is not the TV is only showing us ourselves. So if the TV's whack, we gotta check ourselves.
The whole thing about the bling bling or whatever, it's not that that's what people want to hear, but that's what people don't have the choice, you know? It's like they really don't have the choice because that's all that's being played all the time.
The media ain't got nothing to do with it. Hip hop does not have anything to do with it because that's not what's raising my daughter. I'm raising my daughter. So if my daughter see whatever she sees on TV, it's my responsibility to explain to her what is and what's not.
There's so many words in the English language that you can say whatever you have to say without making it profane or without making it from the gutter. But then if you're from a generation that only knew a certain lifestyle, it is poetry, and this is your poetry, and you have to say your poetry the way you are. So I don't think an artist should not be, there is a responsibility, but at the same time, I don't want to put it on them.
Art is education. Education is love, is life. So I'm trying to give love and life to my surrounding, to the next generation, to the youth in the neighborhoods. Trying to show them different techniques, trying to show them different ancient knowledge, trying to show them an example of a new alternative way of obtaining success, visibility, confidence, and strength.
That's what music did for me. It gave me that sort of confidence to express myself.
Dans le jazz, moi j'appelle ça le faux sourire. C'est-à-dire qu'il faut que tu souris tout le temps même si tu n'as pas envie, il faut que tu montres que tu souris. Et ça reste collé, c'est ça, c'est pas naturel. Pour moi, c'est pas naturel. Dans le hip-hop, tu peux être frustré, tu peux montrer que tu es frustré, danser, du moment que tu ressens et que tu exprimes.
It's allowed young people who believe they couldn't dance or they couldn't do certain things become more positive about themselves.
Le hip-hop donne du pouvoir aux minorités qui se faisaient pas entendre avant et qui sont comme entre guillemets sortis des ghettos pour dire ce qu'ils avaient à dire.
Quand je dessine, quand je fais quelque chose sur un mur, j'ai pas de limite, je fais qu'est-ce que je veux, je peux être qui je veux, dessiner avec les couleurs que je veux, quand je veux, où je veux, tout le temps.
Le hip-hop m'a appris à me connaître, straight up. Le hip-hop m'a permis d'avoir confiance en moi, de connaître qui je suis, de l'accepter et de le faire briller sans abat-jour à son plein potentiel.
Sans la danse, je pense pas que je serais ici. Je serais peut-être en prison, je serais peut-être mort. Juste parce que j'ai mis mon temps et mon effort dans la danse, ça m'a évité de faire beaucoup de choses qui m'auraient mis dans des mauvaises situations.
On spread le love. Que tu sois blanc, noir, jaune, mauve, gros, petit, vert, 8 pattes, 9 doigts, c'est all good.
C'est comme un reality check, ça nous ramène à vraiment voir, regarder le monde là, vraiment dans les yeux, comme comprendre, ressentir notre humanité.